Guys, a real-life purge is about to hit the United States of America, January 1st, 2023, in the state of Illinois, guys. Let's jump into it. Guys, I don't even know what to do with this information, but we will find out together. Let's get it, guys.
The Isaiah Factor, uncensored.
All right, so this is like an advertisement, not an advertisement, but an introduction. Let's bypass that. Let's check it out.
That Purge movie and that Countdown that I love. Those films explore a frightening concept where any and all crimes is legal in the United States for 12 hours straight, and police will not respond. Now, people in Illinois are worried a new law could become a gateway for the purge to really happen. It has taken root on social media and is spreading like wildfire. Rumors of a new law in Illinois, but is this true? Will it lead to a type of purge? While we love a good scandal here on The Factor, on
absolutely, I'm sure,
like misinformation. So we dug deep. Tonight we talk about the Safety Act in Illinois. The law takes effect in January in 2023. Let's get our discussion going.
Check it out.
So, Charles, many people are comparing the change in law in Illinois to the actual purge. What exactly is going on? Explain that to the viewer out there before they're misled.
Well, the analogy to the purge is a little ridiculous. And there was a mayor in Illinois who was saying that this law would prevent law enforcement from removing burglars or trespassers from your residence or your home or your business. And that's not true. There's nothing to support that sort of reactionary extremism. But it is a very, very bad law. And it's another example of criminal justice reform that is really just an abandonment of law-abiding citizens and victims and putting criminals in the driver's seat in America. And of course, they also have named it the Safety Act, right? SAFET. That is obviously another example of, and something Democrats and Republicans both do, but the Democrats have been doing it a lot lately, of naming legislation something that it doesn't at all do. In fact, it makes Illinois less safe. And then what it's done is it's stripped the judges of the discretionary analysis designed to allow them to set an appropriate bond on an appropriate charge. And for a frightening number of charges, it basically says they have to be released, including murder. So what it is downstream from, we used to have a paradigm in Harris County where poor.
Okay, no, please. Under no circumstance do you ever release someone that did that heinous crime to the public, okay? I'm sorry, unless it was like some type of like self-defense situation where it was either you were that person and it could be proved. I don't really see the need for someone that takes it upon themselves to delete another human being from this planet to be released free of bail, guys. That's a bit much, okay? Just a little bit, guys. That's a bit much now, right? Let's get it.
People would sit in jail for things like driving while license invalid or other misdemeanors that are not particularly consequential.
Okay.
A lot of drug crimes, right? And where people without the money would just have to take a plea or rob. And that was absurd. And it's something I saw. I became the presiding judge for a city in Harris County in 2005, I believe. And I immediately introduced PR bonds for all Class C warrants, right? Because why should people just sit in jail for days and days and days on a traffic ticket?
I mean, obviously, let's not make things, we should not have a debtor's prison system, even though, unfortunately, that's kind of where things are a lot of the times. So if that's the case, if this is what they're referring to, like releasing people that have super menial, issues, no problem. Just let's not, there needs to be a limit, okay? Absolutely.
It's absurd. But that pendulum that was way over here then has now swung way over here now. And where you're seeing, like in states like New York already, you're seeing this revolving door where people are committing worse and worse crimes and just walking out within hours. And it's a horrible thing. So while it's not the purge.
Yeah, I mean, recidivism is a thing, unfortunately, in our justice system. Because honestly, jail or prison really has, how do you say this in a nice way, right? For the most part, they are not there to rehabilitate you. Why would they rehabilitate you in a system that makes money off you being there for the most part, right? Why would they want that? It's business, right? So yeah, of course, recidivism is a thing. That's a guarantee in many cases, because again, they're not there to rehabilitate you.
Walking out within hours, and it's a horrible thing. So while it's not the purge, it's an awful, awful thing for Illinois and for America, and it's most certainly not the appropriate reform we need.
Right.
Now, Charles, will the judges lose the ability to have a no bond on someone who they think is very dangerous, like we do here in Harris County? If someone is assessed as a very dangerous individual who's a repeat offender, they have the option of saying no bond.
So in Illinois was like most states in that you gave the judges the opportunity, the discretion to look at it, what is alleged to have occurred, look at the history, and define whether or not they believe there's a likelihood that they won't return or a danger to an individual or the community, right? And in Texas, that was pretty much the same three-prong analysis, except for the fact in Texas, we have a state constitutional right to bond. So we actually have a greater right to Texas to bond than most other states.
Okay.
But in Illinois, it's created that on January 1st, there'll be this new paradigm where it strips judges of discretion and mandates release for things like kidnapping and murder and robbery. And they have to show a specific threat to a specific individual. So let's take a guy that murdered his wife, right? Mm-hmm. Well, his anger was just directed at his wife, and well, she's dead now, so he's not a threat to anyone else, so they got to release him. That is...
No, under no circumstances do you do this. Please leave him in there, all right? Again, if you decide to take it upon yourself to delete another human being, I'm sorry, you just don't belong in society. You have broken our highest of highest, clauses in our social contract, let's say, right? Absolutely. You don't belong on the street, right? You don't belong anywhere near my children. You don't belong anywhere near your children, right? Or your family members. Please, under no circumstance should you ever allow someone like that to walk free. I'm sorry, like any of these things, any of the things that are mentioned here that he just mentioned, absolutely no thank you. All of these are absolutely heinous crimes. These people need to be, fortunately thrown away. Okay, let's get it.
The literal mandated by this statute, and it's insane. And it's just, and what they talk about, the Democrats that push this, they talk about equity, right? And of course there was, like I said, the old Harris County system was unfair to the poor, and it impacted people of color more than anyone else. But what we're doing in America now is we're telling, because crime is almost all socioeconomically and racially homogenous. White people commit crime.
Ooh, yeah, that's about right? Absolutely, it definitely is.
Color more than anyone else. But what we're doing in America now is we're telling, because crime is almost all socioeconomically and racially homogenous. White people commit crimes against white people, Hispanic people commit crimes against Hispanic people, black people commit crimes against black people.
Like you generally commit crimes, honestly, who's in your proximity, right? And unfortunately, the United States of America is extremely segregated still. And so when people say certain things, it's kind of like, bro, what are you talking about? Okay, because most of the crimes that are happening are within people who look like that same person, because again, we live in a pretty segregated country, other than the cities, right? But all right, let's get it.
Against white people, Hispanic people commit crimes against Hispanic people, black people commit crimes against black people. That's just the data, right? And period. So what we're doing is we're abandoning poor people of color to victim crime. We're saying, it's like when you call 911 in Houston now. Well, it says, if your theft was less than $5,000, go report it online. I don't know about you, Isaiah, but for the majority of my life, $5,000, not anymore, but just thank God hard work pays off. But $5,000 would have destroyed me, right? It would make me unable. And
it would destroy most Americans. Like, absolutely. Most Americans their whole family, their whole livelihood would be basically gone if you were to literally take $5,000 from them. Because that's that's more than most Americans have in their bank accounts, to say the very least. So, again,
we just started this new paradigm where the government is telling victims tough, and this is just another example. Sounds like. It's horrifying.
I like the way Charles made it clear he's not broke anymore. This story is making a lot of noise on social media. We're not done just yet. We'll continue it after the break. And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. We're continuing our coverage of a law coming to Illinois next year. The new Safety Act is making a lot of people feel anything but safe. The law will eliminate cash bail for multiple crimes, according to users on TikTok. This sounds like the plot of The Purge. Let's continue our discussion and the reason for many people saying it is the beginning of The Purge that's trending on social media.
And Karen, what are people saying on social media? Obviously, there's that element that Charles and I talked about where people are calling this a purge. Obviously, unfair comparison to what we know what the movie is and the reality of that is. But
it's not really an unfair comparison, because if your concept is to let people that commit like wild crimes out, it kind of sounds like it. Sorry. You know, again, I mean, what's the chance of someone, committing again, offending again? Extremely high. Again, look at recidivism rates. Just look at recidivism rates. You'll get that. It's instant, guys. They're gonna offend again.
Why is this so hot on social media, Karen?
Yeah, I think the use of the word "the purge," it's a fear-mongering term, which we know TikTokers are really great at. You know, TikTok is the trend-setting platform of social media. It is where trends start. It is where things just kind of take shape and then evolve onto the other platforms. It is great for spreading not only terms, but in this case, awareness.
Guys, TikTok is honestly one of the most toxic places you could be. I don't know. I can't explain how I feel deeply in terms, like, I cannot explain how much I strongly dislike the community that TikTok is birthing, guys. I don't know. I just don't like them very much. But I'm on TikTok. Follow me.
Which is actually a good thing. And through the years, we know that social media has promoted social change, has been a really pivotal part of social awareness and awareness to social injustice. And it's been, the precedent to change. And so in this case, I think that the TikTok users are just trying to create awareness and really trend with this topic, because it is
almost a red herring there, right?
Exactly. And so they're using this, I think, for the good of the people and creating awareness about this topic. However, it's borderline fear-mongering because, it is scary.
Use the word "the purge," of course, you're going to get clicks and all types of craziness, guys. So, yeah, you're fear-mongering.
I lived in Illinois, and I heard about this happening in my community. I'd want to get the hell out of there as soon as possible. And so, kind of going into what Charles was saying, we have to just bring this all the way back to the justice system and determine, hey, are we doing the right thing? But I think, this is how it's being presented to the people. It is being presented as the purge, and it's really creating a lot of fear.
And Charles, do you see this form of social justice reform spreading across the country?
Well, I think it's important, right? I think it's important that we have a ability to exercise our voice, and I think social media does that. I don't TikTok, right? Maybe I'm too old at 50 years old. Maybe I should get with Karen and set up a TikTok. But I obviously Instagram quite a bit. I do think that there are negatives and positives, but I do see social action in the political theater as a positive, right? Because what we have here is this movement amongst many on the left, right, to try to force feed people stuff that doesn't make any sense, right, in the name of equity. And
TikTok. There you go. He just basically explained TikTok, right? Not specifically about like the left or the right. I don't really partake in that nonsense, but bro, TikTok is like number one for feeding you nonsense and saying that it's fact, guys. That's the best way to explain it. It's like, bro, why are you saying this? I mean, I get it. You can create a community of people who like orange lighters, right? And we're going to start this around everything that for people who like orange lighters. And a whole community is going to tell you that green lighters are absolutely like demonic or something and they're evil. And they just, then of course the green lighter crew is going to come out, right? And it's just, guys, this is TikTok. All right. If you ever wanted to know what TikTok was, the best explanation I can give you is that right there, right? You are creating a nothing community out of nothingness because you're bored, right? TikTok, ladies and gentlemen.
You have the very people they're supposedly allegedly helping are the ones they're abandoning. The only ones that are being helped by this are criminals, right? And they could have very easily said, hey, for misdemeanors, we're going to have no cash bail. We're just going to have PR bonds and we're going to have supervision when we see it's necessary. But they did. They went all the way up the chain to second-degree murder. And it's insane. And it does create this situation. We're seeing it all over America. Even our mayor here was trying to parse the crime data and say, well, Houston's not the most dangerous. Crime is out of control.
Everywhere.
While there are many problems.
And this recession that's going on, guys. Yeah. Again, a lot of crime. It's not an inherent thing with someone. Someone is not just inherently crime ridden, right? With the more issues financially someone has, the more likely they are going to, be to commit some type of crime, guys. Why are they going to do that? Because they need to feed their families, guys.
On the conservative side of the fence, there's many things that the Republicans do very, very, very wrong. But at some point, it's time for the media to put a spotlight on what the Democrats are doing wrong. And what we can't have is this kind of media complicit bias. We need everyone, a single voice, saying...
Honestly, just don't trust the concept of media. I'll tell you this right now. I'm going to tell you why. What matters in media is what will get the most clicks, right? So if the truth of the matter is not going to be very click-worthy, right? They're not going to be able to sell their advertisements, right? Then what does it matter? There's no honor in journalism anymore because it's not there, sadly. Right? So you need to find your information from other sources. Do not step into echo chambers. Keep that in mind because then again, there are entire groups of media entities, right? That will push this one very specific topic, right? And disregard the facts around it because they just want to push this topic because they know there's a large community of people who like hearing just about this very specific topic, guys. Right? So yeah, that's the media.
Be a complicit bias. We need everyone, a single voice, saying crime's out of control. Right. I don't care what party you're in. I don't care what your politics are. Right. Victims matter. And we've got to do something about it because this Safety Act is anything but safe. It's an abandonment of law-abiding people in Illinois.
Right. And once again, as Charles just said, this is in Illinois and not here in Texas and not all over the country just yet. But we thank you guys for your expertise.
Oh, just yet. That's a little fear-mongering, dude. Okay? Just yet. Didn't have to add that. Sir.
And not all over the country just yet. But we thank you guys for your expertise here on The Factor Uncensored. We'll continue to watch this and see where it goes. Thank you both.
All right, guys. So listen. So apparently the purge is coming. Let's. But it's not over. It's not all over the country just yet, right? Either way, listen. So do I agree with the law? Yes. Right, bits and pieces, right? Not everything, obviously. Who agrees with everything, right? That you didn't come up with, at least, right? Either way, the concept of letting people out that committed absolute felonious type of things, guys, no, those people should stay there. I'm sorry, like if you rob somebody, you don't belong free, right? You shouldn't be walking around. I'm sorry, I don't trust you any longer. You again broke the social contract. I understand. Something's going on in your household and you need money and things like that. I get that, right? But again, don't break the social contract. That doesn't make any sense, guys, because those people are going to, by definition, break the social contract because they defeat their guys. All right, I get it, but I just don't want people that are committing absolute felonious behavior to be able to bond out. I'm sorry. I just don't want these people on the streets, right? That's my own personal opinion. But if you get a traffic ticket and you can't pay your ticket in time, and you go to jail, bro, come on. No. I'm sorry. That's a waste. That's a waste of destroying someone's life in that instance, right? I'm sorry, because if they can't pay, most likely their life is not amazing. So you sending them to jail, make them lose their job and their house and things like that. You're literally destroying someone's life over a ticket. So no, I don't think those people should be in jail at all, right? So, all right. I mean, I get it. There needs to be some type of repercussion for not being able to pay, but I don't think that is a really good one. Maybe give them like probation or something, right? Just a thought. Hey, listen, who am I? Some random guy on the internet, right? But all right, listen, let me know in the comments the next thing I should be checking out, something like this maybe, right? And I'll get into that as soon as I possibly can, all right? Listen, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy it thoroughly.